Hey, what's up guys? My name is Ben. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how you can get guaranteed hired right out of college. Now, before we go into it, I want to break down who this video is for. This video is not for you if you still have some job opportunities lined up, but you don't really like that specific company. This is for the people that have no idea where they're going to get hired. They're about to graduate college. They don't have anything lined up, or maybe you already just did graduate college and you don't have a job that pays well. This video is for you guys. So if you're still looking at working in your exact profession with whatever degree you graduated with, continue to do that. I encourage you to do that. But if you're down to your last rope, then this video is for you. Man, let's face it, job markets are getting harder and harder every single year to stand out because more and more people are graduating with degrees and going into the workforce. When your parents graduated college, if they did, they were among the top 25%. Now, if your mom graduated college, she was among the top 18% of all women in the US. But nowadays, that number has increased dramatically. If you have a degree in 2020, you are among 40% of people in the United States that are working. So what do we do about it? Well, if you're anything like me, coming out of college, I had dreams to take my major and go far with it and do some really awesome stuff, but it just did not seem to work for me. I did not have any jobs lined up. I would go to the career fairs and they were only choosing the top of the top, the cream of the crop, and my grades were not in that range. I had no real extracurricular activities that I had done throughout the years. I didn't have people guiding me into where I should be interning, what companies to be looking at, and things like that. I was just getting a degree. And so what I decided to do was work for one of my friend's moms. She was a doctor and she decided to hire me $10 an hour at her doctor's office, which I don't blame her at all because that's all the value that I could bring. All I could do was really answer phones and organize medical charts, and so that's exactly what I did. I had no other experience in the medical field. So I earned $10 an hour. I would work 40 hours a week. At the very end of my week, I would get a paycheck of $400. Now that was before taxes. So you can imagine coming out of college with a degree, making $400 a week. That was like a punch in the stomach. It was like a punch in my gut. I was living with my parents. I did not have solid income. I did not know what I was gonna do. But thankfully, after about 6 months of this, I discovered a job opportunity that would literally change my life and change my financial situation. I heard about a company called Aflac that was involved in health and life insurance, and I decided that I wanted to see what this was all about. And so I went to an informational interview where I learned all about the structure of the company, how they value family, and how they put the customers first, but also how much money I could make in my first year. And I decided, man, this was worth a shot because none of the other stuff panned out. And I was looking at $400 a week and I was thinking, man, it could only go up from here. This could only be a positive. And so I decided to go all in. And man, let me tell you, it was mind-blowing when after I was done getting certified and taking all the tests and all that stuff, my very first account on the job, I worked 3 hours, guys, and I got paid $600 for my work. And at that moment, it clicked in my mind that I did not have to trade my time for money, that I could actually earn a solid income based off my performance and not based off of trading my time. Now at this point, I know what you're thinking, man, Ben, I don't want to be a salesman. I don't want to be one of those sleazy guys that you see in the movies, that you see on TV. I do not want to be that. But to that, I'll say this. 1 in every 6 people in this nation are involved in a sales position. People that you love, people that are respectable, a lot of people that you know, your friends' parents, a lot of them are involved in sales and to a degree that you probably don't even realize yet. But as you grow older, you'll realize, man, there is a lot of people in different sales positions, whether you're a realtor, whether you sell medical equipment. There's so many different options when it comes to sales, and not everybody is that sleazy sales guy that we think of when we think of a salesperson. Because I'll be honest, when I thought of a salesperson, I thought of like Ray Kroc from the McDonald's, movie, just like super sleazy, swindling people out of their money, and that just was not what I wanted to be. That's not who I wanted to be when I grew up. But thankfully, thanks to people like Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, these people are salesmen and they're nonstop pitching stuff, but they provide value. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to provide value for people so that if they ever needed products from me, they knew that they could come to me because I was the one that was going to provide value for them and put them first. Right now, we're going to go over 3 different sales positions that you can actually join that are pretty widespread throughout the country, that more than likely in your area, these companies are hiring and looking for you right now. And the very first one is health and life insurance agents. Man, people need health insurance. People need life insurance. And if you're an agent and you know people and you're able to go out there and work, you can make a decent living helping people get what they're already going to be buying anyway. So here's the requirements that you can expect going into this sales position. To become a life insurance agent, you have to pass the health and life insurance test. At least in Texas, it may be called something different in your state, but you have to pass that test with a 70. Now, it took me a week to study for that test, and if you've gone to college and you've taken tests before, then you're gonna do just fine as long as you put in the hours to study. I studied about 3 hours a day for an entire week, and man, I passed that test with an 80, which doesn't sound very high, but apparently that test is pretty hard. So if you get anything above an 80, let me know in the comments. Let me know, hey, you beat me. That'd be really cool. And if you didn't get above an 80, that's totally fine, because all you need is a 70 to pass this test. From there, it takes about 2 weeks, depending on your state, for them to approve you. During that time, you also have to get your fingerprints taken, and this just runs a background check, making sure that, you know, there's no felony charges, you're not involved in fraud or theft or things like that, so that they know that you're someone that they can trust hiring onto their company. This process cost me about $250, and honestly, $250 to start a business is not bad startup costs at all, and that's all it took for me to get going with this insurance company. Now, a quick warning here. There's gonna be certain companies that are only gonna allow you to sell their insurance. Now, this is called being a captive agent. Now, a captive agent is as bad as it sounds. You are captive to that one company. And the reason you don't really wanna be captive to a company is because you wanna have options. You see, there's gonna be people from all different kinds of walks of life that are gonna need different products. And if your company only serves one specific group and one specific product, then you're not gonna really be able to help that many people. And on top of that, there's not really much flexibility because you're stuck with this one company. Now, that's just a warning. Some companies are captive, but there's a lot that are not, and they allow you to sell whichever type of insurance plans you want. Now, a typical first-year insurance agent can earn anywhere from $25,000 all the way to $100,000. It really just depends on how much you're putting in work, and also who is your mentor, who are the people that you're working under, because that has a lot to do with how much you earn in your first year. Because these people, more than likely, if they have their own agency, they've been working for a while, they know what works, and if you listen to them, you'll be able to earn good money. For me, my first 12 years, I was able to earn $52,000, which was a huge step up from $400 a week. You know, coming out of college, we expect to earn about that much money. And when you look at it and say, man, you didn't even need a degree to do that? Yeah, we don't. And a lot of times that stops people because they're like, no, I want to use my degree. But for me, man, I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I needed to earn a living to support a family. And so that's the reason I decided to go the health and life insurance route. Something that I think is really important to mention here is I only worked about 30 hours a week. Man, I wasn't grinding to the bone like crazy. And I know some of you are willing to work so much more, and that's awesome. And I would say the more hours you put in, the better you're gonna produce. But that's all I worked, and I was able to make that living. So if I were to work 40 hours, man, that could have gone up a lot more. So that's the potential that you can expect. And I'm someone who's average. I didn't have any sales experience. I was just willing to learn and willing to get told no and keep going. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to sales, is you have to learn perseverance and discipline when it comes to talking to people and getting in front of them. Next up on the list is becoming a real estate agent. Man, people are gonna be buying and selling homes literally to the end of time. And real estate companies are looking for people just like you all the time, who are willing to work, who are willing to help a lot of people and sell a good amount of homes every single year. So what it takes to become a real estate agent is you have to be at least 18 years old. You have to have a sponsoring broker, meaning someone who is going to represent you, someone whose agency you will work for. You have to complete about 180 hours worth of pre-licensing education. You have to pass the final exam on that education, and you have to pass a real estate salesperson test. So once you've done all that, which if you select a good broker, they're going to help you throughout this entire process. Now, a real estate broker you can look at as basically being like your boss. They help mentor you and get the ball rolling for you. The typical commission you can expect from selling one home is 2.5% of the sales price. Now, you are going to be working with a broker, and they need to get paid for helping you out. So they take about 10% of every single deal that you do. Now, to give you some quick math, if you sold a home that was worth $150,000, 2.5% of that would be $3,750. But remember, you're working with a broker, and you're gonna be splitting with them that 10%. So your cut is gonna be $3,375. If you multiply this by 12, meaning you sold 12 homes in 1 year, you would make $40,500. Now, I will say that it is a little harder, and there's a lot more competition in being a real estate agent when it comes to life insurance and things like that. Every single person is gonna need these products. More than likely, some are gonna want more than others. But when it comes to buying a home, that is a specific niche of people. Buying a home isn't gonna be for everyone. You're not gonna be able to help out a ton of people, but the commission available is still pretty solid. And if you do wanna get into this market, know that it will be a little more competitive than insurance, but your income potential is really high as well in this area. Especially if you live in a market where houses are really expensive, the income potential can be through the roof. Now, last but not least, is property and casualty insurance agent. Now that sounds like a weird word. You've probably never heard that term before if you're not familiar with insurance, but this is really simple. This is home and auto insurance. So you're talking Allstate, you're talking State Farm, those type of companies are involved with property and casualty insurance. Now, the benefits of being a property and casualty insurance agent is that the people actually come to you a lot of the time because you work in an actual agency. Think about how when you first bought auto insurance, you either Googled it, auto insurance near me, and you called them and you got some quotes, and that's how you were able to sign up. So a lot of the hard work is done for you, but some of the drawbacks are that you're gonna have to be in that office. You're gonna have to work a specific amount of time, and it's not as flexible for your schedule as is being a real estate agent or being a health and life insurance agent. So with property and casualty, the cool part about this is that people renew constantly every year, and so you get a small commission every single year that someone keeps their plan. You get a small percentage of it. Now it's really small, but when you're helping a lot of people over time, those residuals start to add up and you kind of start to make passive income, which is really cool. And I stopped working with an insurance company about 3 years ago, and I still get paid a couple $100s every single month, and I only worked for them for about 1.5 years. And so the residual income is really great with insurance companies. Realistically, with any of these sales positions, you can make really respectable income, but here's the thing that you're gonna have to get over. You're gonna have to get over the fear of being told no. You're gonna have to get over the fear of people looking down on you because they think that you're out to get them, you're out to scam them. That is totally false, man. You're out to help people, and they're not gonna, when you walk into a business to help somebody out or to give someone a quote and you're just cold calling them, they think you're just out for their money. But realistically, man, you could be the answer to their prayers. Maybe one day their family member dies suddenly and you were the agent that sold them life insurance. Man, I've had people call us crying saying, man, thank you guys so much for what you do. Because of you, I was able to have a plan in place, and I never would have thought about this otherwise if it weren't for you guys coming to us. And so know that what you do is gonna help people no matter what they think about you. And people are always gonna think that you're a scam, man. If you sell anything, if you try to provide value and then add a dollar sign to it, people are just gonna think you're a scam. Now, there are certain scams out there, right? And there are salespeople that give other salesmen a bad name, but not everybody is that way. And I would say the majority of salespeople are out to help people and make an honest living. Man, I hope this video helped you. If you're someone who just graduated college and there's no jobs lined up for you, I would say, man, just swallow your pride. You're not gonna be able to use your degree the way you wanted to, but you can still earn an awesome income. And I would recommend looking into these 3 sales positions to see which one fits your lifestyle and which one you think you could succeed at the most. Hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I would really appreciate a comment in the bottom. It would really help the interaction on this video, and it could help it reach someone who needs this information, and you could totally be a part of that by commenting down below. So if you could just comment, sales isn't bad, if you made it all the way to the end, so that I know you got to see this video. And speaking of sales, at the end of every single one of my videos, I always shout out my wife. She does life insurance full time, and she's always willing to give you guys quotes. So if you need a quote for life insurance at any point, feel free to email her. Her email is gonna be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Ben. Garcia in the next one.